Head trauma's impact long-term is an ongoing source of intrigue in the healing arts. With any healing process, the goal is to try to identify as many variables that stand in the way of a thorough and efficient recovery. For concussions, one variable that needs to be further highlighted is the impact that the causative trauma has on the brain stem. Much attention gets paid to the comparatively well-protected brain, but the brain stem is far more susceptible to trauma. The brain is encased within the skull. It takes 95 Gs of force to cause a mild brain injury. That's a lot of force. The brain stem rests in the junction between the skull and the top bone in the neck, which is held in place only by muscle, not interlocking joints or bony locks. It takes only 4 Gs of force to injure the upper neck, so it's impossible to have a concussion without an underlying neck injury. Misalignments of the head and neck are far more common. Upper neck problems often then predate concussions. Bear in mind, the brainstem is responsible for coordinating your internal organ functions. It's designed to route the communication between the brain and the body and back. It also directs the intercommunication among parts of the brain. So there's not a more important part of the body than the brainstem, not even the brain, which you can be born without and still be alive. The healing process is considerably slowed by the brainstem being compromised. Another thing to consider is the impact that the misalignment has on the flow of blood and cerebrospinal fluid to and from the brain. The brainstem area is the main intersection for the back and forth flow of these fluids. So just as the brainstem becomes compromised by an upper neck misalignment, so too is the fluid flow, which builds up in pockets in the brain as a result and causes increased pressure in the head and the neck. It also slows down the transport of key agents of the healing process that travel through the blood and the cerebrospinal fluid. The importance of having the upper neck evaluated by an upper cervical practitioner far outweighs the lack of awareness on the subject.